welcome to Alongside Lauren. I'm Lauren and I'm so glad that we get to spend a little bit of time together on this Sunday afternoon, hopefully making life easier for your future self in this coming week. This is my amazing husband and sous chef Heath.
Good afternoon.
And this week we are going to be dining on chicken fajitas for lunch. We had chicken fajitas for lunch today, so I can highly recommend. They were delicious.
Very good.
And for our dinners, I was going to do like a kind of Greek-inspired slow roasted pork, but when I was grocery shopping yesterday, I came across some, well, they're supposed to be lamb offcuts, and I think that they're like a lamb rib cut, but they had so much meat on them and that a little bit of fat, but they just were so flavoursome that I had to do something with them. And that something is a slow cooked lamb curry. It is 50 gazillion degrees outside at the moment and about 1,000% humidity. So the fact that I am cooking a curry seems completely ridiculous, but it will be delicious. The house already smells amazing. So I browned the lamb off, and inside that slow cooker there, I have got pumpkin and carrot and zucchini and capsicum and onion and garlic and, did I say eggplant? And eggplant. Basically the contents of the fruit and veg bin, because we've got our fruit and veg delivery coming on this coming Wednesday. So it's a great clear the decks kind of a recipe. And I have had that in the slow cooker for maybe an hour and a half or so. And I'm a little bit concerned. I probably should have put it in the slow cooker well before then, so that is ready for me to put in the fridge before I go to bed tonight. There may be some kind of paper, scissors, rock situation happening with Heath and I to see who has to get up at 10 o'clock tonight to babysit the lamb. But that's okay. That is an argument that I can lose off air. So I'm in the process of preparing the curry paste at the moment, which is why the house smells so amazing. So we have got a mixture of cumin, coriander, fenugreek, green cardamom, brown cardamom, black pepper, cinnamon and bay leaves that I have dry roasted and ground, and it is amazing but is a little bit potent. I opened the lid of the Thermomix after it had finished grinding and kind of wanted to take like this really elegant sort of Meghan Markle kind of style sort of inhale of my domestic amazingness, and instead I just took like a really big nose full of it and then just ended up coughing hysterically. So that's probably me in a nutshell. Definitely a bit more useless at that sort of thing. Domestic goddess I am not, but gee, we eat well. So I am just going to kind of put that down a little bit while I delicately breathe in the beautiful scent of our freshly ground curry mix. And you could use like a commercially available garam masala or something like that. I just have a lot of spices at home. It's very normal for a person when they finish work early as a treat to take themselves to the Indian grocer and just browse the aisles. That's
So
a really normal thing to do.
Yeah, that's a normal thing for a normal person to do normally.
Now, I put quite a bit of black pepper in there, but I am contemplating still popping in a chilli. What do you reckon?
Always happy with a little bit of chili in a curry.
Until I put in too much.
It depends on the chili, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I bought some chilies last year on clearance that had gone in the freezer. I think they weren't ghost chilies, but they weren't far off.
They were
really
potent.
quite spicy habaneros maybe. And yeah, I'd been putting them in stuff, and I'd got like 2 packets of them on clearance. And one was like enough. And so that one packet lasted us for quite a long time.
What have you got there?
So I have got way too much garlic and also some ginger that had been grown by a good friend of mine, Helen, and she had more ginger than she knew what to do with, and then she very kindly offered to share it with me.
Nice.
And she'd like peeled it and grated it, and then like just popped it in the freezer, and it's perfect. If I did it again, I'd probably freeze it into like individual portions because it's a block, which is fine. But every time I cut a bit off it, I kind of worry that it's the last thing that I remember before I cut off a finger.
Oh.
But I'm not being melodramatic about it.
No, of course not.
Oh, this just smells so
Yeah, I can smell
jolly.
it from over here. It is
Good.
very potent, but very nice.
So, that's the other thing I did, because I was a bit concerned that there wasn't going to be enough meat in the lamb. So I also popped in 250 grams of red lentils.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, just to kind of boost the protein and sort of, I guess, the nutritional value there as well. And to serve with the curry, I'm going to do some brown rice with some Brussels sprouts that I have roasted with some curry powder and just a bit of salt and peanut oil, I think.
Okay. How do they go?
They're really good. Do you want one?
Sure. Oh. Oh, wow.
Yeah. How good is that?
Yeah, you could pretty much put them in a hot chip packet and just eat them like hot chips almost.
Yeah. So my theory
They've got a nice
is
crispiness.
that will kind of like refresh them in the air fryer during the week. And then sort of pot them on top of the brown rice and curry, like just to give it a bit of texture.
Yeah, that's...
Because one of the things that I struggle with a little bit about curry is that it's so delicious, but there is like a lot of smush. And it's not the most attractive looking
It's often very brown.
thing.
We were talking about that when it comes to Valentine's, weren't we?
Yeah.
It is hard to have a curry for Valentine's Day.
Yeah. It's not the most appealing of cuisines in that regard, but like I do love it. So now I've just added in some turmeric and and some oil, which I forgot. So I'll do it now.
Perfect.
And that's just going to cook for a bit. And then we're going to add in some tomatoes and tamarind. So tamarind is a fruit. And it has like a sweet yet sour, and it has a consistency almost like a molasses. It's really interesting, and it's something that I love adding into curries. This is the secret ingredient of what I add into our curry sausages as well, that I reckon makes our curry sausages taste amazing. Well, also smoking the sausages.
Smoking the
helps.
sausages in advance, yes.
But yeah, tamarind, it's fantastic. And some tin tomatoes as well. I've got tomatoes that I also have roasted that we're going to have with our breakfast. So poor Heath has gone on a bit of a journey, shall we say, with the amount of vegetable material that I force him to eat at breakfast.
It's just it's gone from a few sort of spinach leaves on the side to
Basically a full salad.
a full salad with a little bit of other
with
things.
like mushrooms and here we have slow roasted tomatoes.
But the slow
and-
roasted tomatoes and the mushrooms are
Together.
very,
it's
very
such a
good.
good combination.
And just cutting them up and putting them on a piece of toast.
It's really tasty. It's
Beautiful.
almost like, it's like having sauce.
Yeah.
So my plan, once I've made the curry mixes, I'll cook the brown rice in the Thermomix. Whoop, do not put that in the
Whoa.
pantry. They'll go manky. I have got a chock-a-block fridge at the moment.
Yeah, the fridge is pretty full.
We had some friends over last night to celebrate a birthday. And, do you reckon would white wine be like just a tiny bit of white wine? They'll go right
In the curry?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Why not? And so, yeah, which was really, really lovely. But I ended up making an impromptu birthday cake, which was quite fun.
Yeah, it was delicious.
Oh,
it was
it's so
like
good.
it was a banana bread, a banana cake,
Banana cake.
but with a cream cheese icing.
cream
So
cheese
like
icing.
a carrot cake in flavor profile, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
And it was very, very tasty. And it was sneaky because you were making it in front of us. And I don't think anybody really suspected because you were also making things for church and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah,
So
I had a bit of I
it
had
was
every intention of coming home and doing some sewing last night, but I just basically ended up cooking for like 3 hours instead. Well, you know, it's 3 hours well spent. So I've got here 2 tins of tomatoes. I'm going wildly off piste with this particular recipe. It's kind of loosely based off a dun suck, which is like a lamb curry with a bunch of sort of lentils and pulses and stuff in it, which is why I thought it would sort of work well. But because I've got a lot of additional veg in this curry, how unusual for me. And so I have doubled the spices as well. And you know me, not a single amount of flavour can possibly go to waste. Oops. But yeah, so it worked out I thought it worked out really well. But I remembered for the cream cheese icing that I had a fruit cheese, is that what you call it? Like a sort of fruit and nut
Yep.
cheese.
Yep.
That we had in the freezer left from a cheese board. And I will confess, I don't like fruit and nut cheese. So it's
But
not...
it makes for a good
It's
cream
not a
cheese
that I go to,
substitute.
but it made for an excellent cream cheese substitute for...
Yeah, so it's, like you say, very molasses-like
Very molasses-like, and I'm going to have to...
and a bit
get
messy. Mm.
A good wipe off before I put it back in the fridge.
Mm. We've been stung before by that, haven't we? And
Oh,
and
yeah.
it sticks itself to the fridge.
It sticks to everything. We'll just let that cook down for like 5 minutes. I'll give that a... See? It's already causing issues with my bench. But yeah, so I think sometimes with curry you just got to think through layers of flavors and how you might be able to adjust some of the textures and say, oh, see, it's on my finger. My word. Lucky you taste good, Tamarind, because you are making a mess. But we had a wonderful Valentine's Day.
Oh, we did indeed.
We did. We
Went
had the
to
opportunity to
Our favourite Italian
go
restaurant.
to our local Italian restaurant, La Casetta, which is just beautiful. And they did they had like a Valentine's menu, of course, because it was Valentine's Day. But we tried to sort of pick dishes that we wouldn't normally order, which was fun. So for the entree, we did like a bresaola carpaccio, which is amazing. So it was kind of like really thinly sliced cured meat with a like sort of rocket salad and pistachio and pesto, which was just amazing. And this sort of fried bread thing with mortadella, which again, so not something we would normally order. but it tasted amazing. I'm really manhandling these sprouts. Just do that. I don't want to say that it's less messy because there's every possibility. Oh, there we go. Whew. I was concerned I was just going to send Brussels sprouts shooting everywhere all over the kitchen. Christ, as I've had it. And it was just, yeah, it was beautiful. And then for mains, we did, the most amazing ossobuco. So I cook ossobuco, like usually a couple of times in winter, and it's nice, but that ossobuco was amazing. And they did it with like a creamy polenta, which I don't know why, but I cannot make good like creamy polenta to have as a side.
Well, I guess you got to maybe practice it.
Or I
wouldn't
just
complain.
go there.
Or we just go and eat it there and it's delicious. Yes.
And then for dessert, we had a cannoli with pistachio, like pistachio pappy butter, which was
that
just
was amazing. Mm-hmm.
so good. And a lemon tiramisu, which sounds disgusting, but it was amazing. So there was no coffee involved with it, which was great. So it was just a Savoiardi, like sort of sponge finger biscuits soaked in limoncello with the mascarpone cream and lemon curd. And it was just rich but light and refreshing and citrusy and just...
We've had it before, and it is
just
excellent.
So
It is such a good dessert.
good.
And when you're quite full, often it's like, oh, can we fit dessert? But we just never even
Well, we
question
know
it.
that there's a lemon tiramisu that we can absolutely
Never
fit it.
even question it. No.
We had a really lovely McLaren Vale Shiraz to go with
Yeah,
the dinner as well,
yeah,
which was really nice.
yeah.
Actually, did you want any wine or are you...
I think I'm okay
You're good.
today. Yeah. Yeah.
It was so good. It was
Yeah.
such a lovely
It was
night.
a lovely night, yeah. And we walked home. We
Yes,
walked there
we
and walked
there
home.
and walked home.
So that was also good.
It's okay. I know the math doesn't math. I know that it absolutely doesn't balance out.
Speaking of walking, this morning we also did quite a walk because our park run moved.
Yes.
So we went for a run as we do on Sunday mornings. But after that, we packed a breakfast picnic type thing.
We did. It was, look, we were trying to get a lot of things achieved this morning.
Yeah.
A lot of things achieved this morning.
Yes.
And part of what we needed to get achieved was to go on this new park run and try out the new course.
Mm-hmm.
But we also needed to be at church by 8:30.
Yep.
And so in order to achieve all of those things, it meant that I last night had prepped bacon and egg
Rolls. But your version of bacon and egg rolls are maple bacon
Yes.
that's like this thick and
Yeah.
cut in like long skinny bits.
Yeah.
And all sorts of different cheeses, including like a chili cheese.
Chili cheddar.
Which
Yeah.
was insanely nice.
With pumpkin relish.
Pumpkin relish, spinach,
Spinach, sliced onion.
and then a side of beans
And an egg.
broccoli
And
and
there's
an
an egg on
egg,
there.
of course.
But
yes,
yeah, and I also did
Oh,
little steam
so
packets in alfoil of
So everybody was working really hard at their park run. They're either running or power walking, or some people were just walking like us. And we were walking nice and slowly and chomping
eating.
down our food
Basically
and
eating.
making everybody jealous. Speaking
So
of jealous, you should be
that-
jealous of this.
that smells
Oh,
so good.
wow. Wow. Yeah, that smells incredible.
But this is the problem with curry, is that it just
It doesn't look
that
appealing.
appetizing,
No,
and that's
no,
fine.
I know. But
So
let's,
now I'm going to pop this mix onto
the lamb
that lamb
and let it do its thing.
and let it just do its thing.
Very, very nice.
Just give it a good old scrape out. And that.
How long will you let that cook for?
Well,
How long's the lamb been cooking for so far?
the lamb's been in for nearly 2 hours
On medium, high?
on high.
On high? Yeah.
So we'll just see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
I would love it if it was done by the time I go to bed.
Yeah.
But we'll just see how it goes. Like
Yeah.
there's no need to actually rush, because it's not the end of the world if I need to get up and pull it out in the middle of the night. So we are going to, let me just, before I forget, add in my teeny tiny little bit of white wine. Bloop. We're going to keep cracking on with a few little bits and pieces so that we're able to feel really prepared for everything that the week ahead is going to throw at us. And I hope that you also have had that opportunity to spend a few moments this afternoon to do something that Thursday you definitely thank you for. And we can't wait to do it all again next week on Alongside Lauren.